Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Million Dollar Media. I am your host, Max Kellerhall, and today I'm just flying solo. I'm a covenless witch, if you will, and today we're going to be talking about Agatha All Along, the sequel series to WandaVision, in which we follow the villain from that, or the surprise villain from WandaVision, Agatha Harkness, on a mission to get her powers back via going on the Witch's Road, which is this magical road that if you face all of these different trials, you will get what you wish for. And so she summons a coven of various witches and one random teenager and a gardener, and they go on the Witch's Road. Now, I'll be honest, going into the show, I didn't understand why they were making this. I just thought it was a weird decision, because I was like, okay, I mean, I like Agatha from WandaVision, but I didn't think, like, we needed to see her in her own show. I thought it would be cool if, like, we brought her back in something else. However, this show was definitely a surprise hit for me. I really enjoyed the show. It is a very fun, spooky, creepy, wickedly delightful show. I kind of compare the vibe of this show to, like, a bunch of, like, middle-aged women doing a book club with red wine. And that's the kind of fun that you get from the show. I feel like all the actresses do such a good job with their characters in making them unique and fun and just making their characters their own. Honestly, I've never read a single Agatha Harkness comic in my life. I don't know anything about this character. There's only like 2 characters in this show that are eventually revealed that I actually know something about. But other than that, like, I never knew any of these characters. And I feel like these actresses just use that idea and to make these characters unique and their own. Yeah, honestly, Catherine Hahn as Agatha, the title role, is amazing in this. Like, she is having the time of her life playing this character. She's bringing everything that she's ever done in her acting career into this, and you could tell that this is like a passion project for her. Like, the character is wickedly evil, but also, like, you get where she's coming from. And one thing I like about this show that I feel like in the past, like, other, like, series or movies about villains do is that they try to make them too much a hero, even though they're supposed to be villains. Even though, like, oh, we're doing evil things, like the Black Adam thing where it's like evil guy who does bad things for good reasons. But, like, at the end of the day, he just still acts like a hero. Not Agatha. She's a con artist. She's constantly backstabbing. A lot of the actions that you find out that she's behind, they're all selfish and very evil. But what I like is that you understand where she's coming from. So it's not a matter of, like, you like the character because they're morally good. You like the character because of how well written she is and how she's portrayed and, like, the various layers to the character that make it so much fun to watch and make you stick with the series and want to see what happens next. And I think that is a big, important element to this show. Her relationship to various different characters in the show. Like, I'll probably go into some spoilers later, but the one I'll say right now is Teen, played by Joe Locke. I think he was an interesting character in the show. At first, I was worried that he was just going to be one big gay stereotype, because there's just a lot of things about his character I was just like, is he overcooking this? But over time, I feel like he really comes into his own as his character. Like, he bounces off well off all the characters because, like he's just so different from everybody else. Like, once you find out who he is, I feel like then, like, his story just becomes more interesting and more fascinating, how it ties into the bigger Marvel universe. And I'll get more into that in spoilers, but I think Joe Locke did a really good job, and I'm kind of glad, like, there's just this openly gay character in this show that is just, like, comfortable with who he is. Especially for, like, Disney. Pretty cool that they have, like, a main character in this show. Or at least, not a main character, a prominent character in this show be portrayed by a gay person. And you actually see his boyfriend. You see a poster in the back at one point that says, Trans Lives Matter. And I just think that's just really interesting for a Disney Plus show. Now, keep in mind, this is Disney Plus. It's not the big movie, so we'll see how this character may come back in later into the movie side of things and how much they do show his queerness. But, like, I think for right now, like, I think it's cool that they did that. The other character I want to talk about is Rio, played by Aubrey Plaza, who is just having so much fun. I mean, I saw her in Megalopolis earlier this year, and I thought she was fine, but it was definitely like a weird performance in that, and the dialogue in that film was just bad. But like with this, they know how to use her well, and that she's still playing a character, but she allows her like deadpan comedy. But also, what I really like about this character this time is that like they really play up the witchy angle of her, which I found to be really fun. Like she just cackles at one point. I don't know, I really appreciate the way they made this character and her relationship with Agatha. At the very end of the show is very interesting in how you can understand why these two characters had a thing in the past. I guess the other, like, there's so many like characters I really liked in the show. Like, I liked Jennifer Kane. I liked her actress. I thought she was really fun. I thought she had some really fun line deliveries. I ultimately found her story of like her trying to get her powers back as well to be really fascinating. Especially when they tie it into some like real world ideas of like someone being in I shouldn't say an abusive relationship, even though I'm pretty sure it's heavily implied that it is, but just like in this idea of like someone who's literally had all their power taken away, and the way her story ends, I found to be really interesting. And another character I really liked was Lily Calderu, played by Patti LaPointe. I liked her character. There's an episode in this show that involves her character as the focus that is so well written. The best I could say, it reminds me of like the writing for Dr. Manhattan and Watchmen, but I think I preferred this better just because that character in Watchmen is so detached from humanity, and this character is so attached to humanity. She has likes, she has wants. They kind of compare what she's going to like a mental illness, so like her slowly slipping and seeing time not as like a linear path, but just like bouncing in between different points of time. It was just really well written, and the way they also found a way to tie that into tarot cards, I thought was really fascinating. And just a really well written episode that like really showed off her, not only her acting capabilities, just how much she put into this character. I don't know. It was such a great episode. Probably one of the best well written sci-fi fantasy things I've seen in a long time. From like a concept put to the screen, it was really good. I liked Alice. I thought her story was pretty interesting. Kind of doesn't get as much play in the show as you would hope, which I guess is the point, but I did like her character enough to be like, I want to see her in more things, but I can understand like for the story that the whole point was for her character not to be in it as much. All in all, like, I really like this show. It's probably going to be a show that I'm going to watch, like, every Halloween time now, or at least put it on and just kind of get that, like, Hocus Pocus kind of vibe. Like, Hocus Pocus is, like, that fun Halloween movie that you can watch every year, and it's got that really fun, witchy vibe. And I feel like this show is the closest I have seen to that original, like, Hocus Pocus vibe. But yeah, I don't know, like, I guess if I want to go into some quick spoilers, you find out that Teen is Billy Maximoff from WandaVision, and you find out that like when the hex came down in WandaVision, Billy's soul went into the body of a nearby dead kid. And so now it's really interesting how they say it. It's like he's now a person embodying someone else's life who is gone. So he doesn't know if he's Billy Maximoff or William Kaplan. So I found that angle of the story to be really interesting. I think Joe Locke did a really good job doing it. And at the end of the show, like him finally becoming Wiccan, it worked. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the overall reveal of the costume because I just felt it was like such a weird full body shot that just kind of didn't really get to show off like apparently how well detailed the costume is. And yeah, you can go online and find out like, oh, hey, the cape looks like his dad's cape and his costume looks more like his mom's costume. So, and just little nitpicky things that don't really break the show. I just like, eh. But yeah, I thought that reveal was fun. Wasn't a big fan of the Billie Eilish drop. I thought, I mean, I have nothing against Billie. I just thought it was just a bit on the nose, hammer over the head kind of feeling. But you know what? It worked for a lot of other people, so I'm not going to yuck their yum. But yeah, I'm really excited to see this character interact with other Young Avengers because Ms. Marvel recruit Kate Bishop, and then she's also talking about Scott Lang's Cassie Lang. or she's also talking about Cassie Lane, and they're basically cooping up together a bunch of young heroes. I knew of Wiccan from the Unavengers comics, which I read a couple of, and I thought the character was pretty cool, so I was really curious to see how they were going to introduce this character sometime down the line. And I think they did a good job. I'm really excited to see how they ultimately interpret this character. Yeah, I guess the other big spoiler thing... Oh, wait. I guess there's 3 spoilers we should talk about. The second one is pretty much... Yeah, Rio, played by Aubrey Plaza, is Lady Death from the comics. She is Death. Damn it, Funko. And honestly, if you were to get one actress to play Lady Death, Aubrey Plaza is a pretty good actress. That's pretty damn good casting. And I think, like, hey, do you, like, just going to her and being like, hey, do you want to play the physical embodiment of death in the Marvel Universe? Oh, of course she would have said yes. That is a big-ass check, too, and kind of makes me think, like, from all the characters we've ever seen in the Marvel Universe die, I would have liked to have seen the Lady Death perspective of that moment now. But that's, like, way too much money just to get, like, Aubrey Plaza and various other actors, including, like, Robert Downey Jr., hell, fuck, CG Thanos again, various other characters. But they're never going to do that. But, like, hey, maybe a animated what if thing. That would have been cool. Like, they're about to do the WandaVision flying up in the sky, shooting magic at each other kind of shit. But, like, what I really like about it is they know that they can't defeat death. Like, it is inevitable. So, like, there's nothing they can do. So, like this show, they just find clever ways around it. And I like that the finale wasn't just another big Marvel CG flying over the city kind of thing. Like, they saved that for the penultimate episode, and then the last episode is where the real bomb drops, and you find out the road was never real. The Witch's Road does not exist. It was created by Agatha to get witches together so that when they find out that they can't access the road and they start bickering at each other, she could just absorb all their powers when they use them on her. It was all a con. The song was made. Oh, yeah, this fucking song. Down the Witch's Road is a fucking catchy song, and I still have it in my head. Every version of it, from the 80s ballad, the punk rock ballad version of it, to the one that they sing to Summon the Road, to Agatha's son, just saying it as like a little nursery rhyme kind of way. Like, just a damn catchy song. And yeah, like, Witch's Road never doesn't exist. It's just a song. Like, it's just a story that she uses to get people's power. And, like, you find out the road that we've been on the entire time was created by Billy Kaplan, because he has his mom's, the Scarlet Witch's, reality warping power. So he basically created this Witch's Road that got a bunch of the other witches killed, but ultimately unlocked his power, unlocked Agatha's power, unlocked Jennifer's power. Yeah, so, like, you find out that this kid is almost as powerful as his mom. And yeah, I thought that was an awesome twist for the show. And it goes right into the name of the show, Agatha All Along. Even though she didn't make the road, it was a big con all along. And that's what I'm saying, that this show, unlike most like Marvel TV shows, has great rewatchability. Because you can now go back and watch the show and be like, that's the moment where she realizes that this, like, something's not right. She's totally bullshitting when she says, yeah, I know what's going on here. Like, that's really interesting that she's having to play up this role this entire time. I like how it also goes into, like, how Wanda used her reality warping powers to make a sitcom universe. Billy uses his powers to make this witchy universe that he knows from pop culture. That's why you get the episode where they dress up as various witches from pop culture, like the Wicked Witch, Galinda, and the one that I didn't get at first, but I found really funny, is the witch from Snow White, which I found, oh, okay, I didn't get it at first, but that's pretty funny. Just a very fun TV show that, like, so far on Disney Plus, for me, I think Marvel is nailing the Halloween aspect of things, because this is, like, right up there for me with Werewolf by Night. Like, Werewolf by Night was this really fun, self-contained thing that's, like, not really connected to the Marvel Universe as much, but it's this really fun, creepy Halloween thing. This is its own creepy, fun Halloween thing. This one just so happens to have more replications in the Marvel Universe going forward. Like, we don't know what's going to happen with Billy. I mean, Tommy's out there now. I know that they're going to be doing a Vision TV show called Vision Quest with Paul Bettany and apparently James Spader coming back as Ultron. So that's interesting. And how this ultimately may tie into other Avengers-ish kind of things in the future. But besides all that, like, hullabaloo and all that bullshit, this on its own is a fun show that I highly recommend to a lot of people. Don't be like me and be like, oh, why is Marvel making this? Let Marvel make weird shit. Like, let them have fun. Who cares at this point if it connects into anything? It may down the road, but who knows? Just have fun. That's what this show is. A good old witchy fun time. Yeah, that's all I really gotta say about Agatha all along. If you like this video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content from us. I'm gonna be doing a review for Nora coming up pretty soon. We'll be doing reviews for Arcane seasons 1 and 2. We'll also be doing reviews for The Penguin. And yeah, various other things to come in the near future. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. I hope you all have a good day. Bye.